At first glance, the photograph appears ordinary. A city street, stone facades, iron lampposts. The caption is unremarkable. Market Square, Stockholm, circa 1890. There's no sign of fire, no rubble, no scaffolding, and yet there are no people. The street is wide enough for crowds. The architecture suggests a mature, established city, not a frontier, not a construction zone. Census records list Stockholm's population at nearly 250,000 by the end of the 19th century. But in the image, there are no pedestrians, no carts, no vendors, only absence. The official explanation is familiar. Long exposure times. Early cameras required stillness. Movement vanished from a frame. But long exposure does not erase everything. It does not erase market debris. It does not erase horses tied to posts. It does not erase children sitting still. And Stockholm is not unique. The same emptiness appears in photographs from Paris, St. Petersburg, Chicago, Melbourne. Different cities, different continents, the same silence. If these streets were built for people who were not yet there, what happened before they arrived? Conventional history tells us the old world faded gradually. Wars reshaped borders. Plagues reduced populations. Revolutions overturned monarchies. Industrialization transformed economies. Each change is documented. Each transition explained. Textbooks describe the 18th and 19th centuries as an era of steady rebuilding. Stone replacing timber. Science replacing superstition. Enlightenment replacing darkness. The narrative flows smoothly from century to century. Census records rise in reassuring increments. Cities expand outward from medieval cores. Railroads spread. Trade multiplies. Architecture evolves logically. Everything progresses as it should. And yet, even within official records, cracks appear. Margins note estimated figures without explanation. Entire districts are counted, then recounted differently a decade later. Population totals sometimes decline before rising again without documented cause. In isolation, this looks like bureaucratic imperfection, the messiness of governance before modern data systems. But together, these records form a foundation we are taught to trust. A story repeated often enough becomes invisible, assumed, unquestioned, and continuity may be the assumption that fails. The earliest city photographs are presented as celebrations of progress. Parisian boulevards, Vienna's ring roads, Boston's civic centers. They are archived as proof that humanity mastered the urban environment, yet they share a detail rarely mentioned. They are empty. Broad avenues stretch toward the horizon without traffic. Government buildings stand without guards. Shop fronts show no customers, no merchants, no commerce. In some images, shadows indicate midday, the busiest hours. Still no crowds. Long exposures again offered as explanation. People blurred into ghosts, then into nothing. But exposure does not explain the absence of static life. Benches are empty. Doorways are open but unoccupied. Market squares show stalls without goods, stages without performers. Even the debris of urban life is missing. No barrels, no carts, no tethered animals. Entire neighborhoods appear finished and abandoned. If hundreds of thousands lived in these cities, where were they? The explanation might work for one photograph. It strains across 20. It collapses across hundreds. Different photographers, different decades, different technologies. The same emptiness persists. The camera did not arrive early. It arrived after something had already happened. Buildings are treated as witnesses to gradual human achievement. Cathedrals, capitals, train stations, structures that imply generations of coordinated labor. Official histories credit architects, construction dates, funding sources. But timelines compress impossibly. Structures supposedly built over centuries appear uniform, precise, complete, as if executed by a single plan, not generations improvising across time. Frontier cities display architectural mastery instantly. Marshlands transform into capitals in decades. Infrastructure appears fully formed, without evidence of developmental stages. Construction records speak of renovations more often than creation, upgrades without originals, reinforcements without prior weakness. The language suggests inheritance, not invention. Blueprints explain intent. They do not explain quiet occupation. What if these cities were not built by the populations that later inhabited them? What if they were claimed? Population records are expected to follow smooth curves. Births, deaths, immigration. But in city after city, the numbers jump. Sudden surges without corresponding birth records. Explosions of population without documented migration. Infrastructure appears first. The people arrive later, on paper. Frontier towns display civic architecture sized for thousands, while census data count hundreds. Buildings stand waiting. Streets extend into emptiness. Rail stations serve communities not yet recorded. Displacement is noted, but displaced from where? At the same time, millions of children enter institutional records with no lineage. Orphanages overflow. Foundling hospitals expand. Intake logs repeat the same phrases. Origin unknown. Parents deceased. No family identified. Children appear without history. A civilization recovering gradually preserves ancestry. A civilization repopulating after catastrophe does not. A society of orphans is a society without memory. World's fairs follow the same pattern. Vast cities appear almost overnight. Architecturally unified. Technically sophisticated. Then they vanish. Officially temporary, yet built on foundations deeper than required, with infrastructure too advanced for spectacle alone. The language again reveals adaptation, not creation. Temporary cities leave permanent questions. Why build civilization twice? Unless the exhibitions were not built, unless they were revealed, the photographs return with new meaning. Different continents, different cultures, the same stillness. Occasionally, a single blurred figure appears. Proof the camera could capture motion. One person in a city designed for thousands. The exception highlights the rule. By the late 19th century, photography could freeze crowds, yet the emptiness remains. Archivists noticed. Catalog notes quietly admit it. Unusually devoid of inhabitants. Cause unknown. Absence is not nothing. It is evidence. The streets were ready. The buildings were complete. The systems were installed. The populations had not yet been inserted into the spaces history claims they already occupied. Architecture aligns globally in ways official narratives cannot explain. Identical proportions, repeated motifs, shared geometry across continents. Independent invention explains similarity. It does not explain uniformity. This was not convergence. It was continuity. A world inherited, not constructed, occupied, not originated. And the photographs, the silent witnesses, remain, not records of bustling cities frozen in time, but evidence of a world waiting to be filled.